Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. I'm your host Rob. This video we're going to talk a little bit more Transformers, and we're going to try, I don't mean to laugh, we're going to talk about the plot, or lack thereof. Okay guys, welcome back. So, Transformers. Okay, this movie, not too far away, coming in June. Last video, as we discussed the robots, mainly the Dinobots I focused on. One of the things I wanted to touch upon, and this hit me shortly after that video, and I've been meaning to make a video about it, but I just haven't come around to it. And now that I've got the time, I sat down. And, we all criticize the plot of the Transformers movies. Let's be honest. They're very simple. And the second one was horrible. Lots of plot holes. And as I've said, I mean, people hear me criticizing the movie a lot, but I actually like the series. But I like it not because of the plot. I like it because of the action. And it's just one of those movie series that you can kind of sit down and just turn your brain off and have popcorn. Said that many times before. So, but what I am curious about is, and I found this funny, when you look at the trailer, there's banners or billboards up saying Chicago, remember Chicago, or Chicago remembers, or whatever the case may be. What I'm trying to figure out now is, we know that there's no Sam Whitwicky, there's none of that, and his girlfriend, that's all gone. So I'm curious if they're obviously picking up a couple of years after the Chicago incident. I believe it's either 5 or 7 years, somewhere around there. Where does the history of Sam Whitwicky stand? Because, he was very close to Bumblebee. He had a very good relationship with Optimus. And I can't imagine, I really can't imagine they'll shit on the plot that much that they can't reference him. Because he was a hero in the third movie. So there's no way Optimus Prime, character-wise, the Optimus that we know, being the noble, good robot that he is, would completely and utterly forget about Sam Whitwicky. So now my question is, if they do entertain some sort of historic event or something in regards to the character from the first 3 movies, Sam Whitwicky I'm referring to, did he die? Did he just decide not to be involved with the Transformers anymore? Is he somewhere else in the world? Is he working? Is he a waiter at Fridays? I mean, what's going on with Sam Whitwicky? Are we going to get an answer to that question? Because I just can't see, them making a movie that picks up sometime after the last one left off. You see references to the events in Chicago, and you don't reference Sam Whitwicky, who's probably the biggest hero in that movie, much to many people's dislike. So that's one thing I was thinking about. Like, I'm just wondering if we're gonna get some sort of closure to the Sam Whitwicky tale. Sam Whitwicky fought brave, but he died shortly thereafter. Or Sam Whitwicky, he, after fighting with us, the Autobots, he decided that he needed to go back and have a normal life. Something. I just, because I personally feel, if they don't touch on that subject at least a little bit to give some closure to that, especially if they're going to link the movies, because that's what it looks like they're doing, I think that's a bad move. Just my opinion. I think it's a bad move. You can't take a character that had the kind of impact that Sam Whitwicky did in the first 3 movies, especially the last one, because he played a pivotal role in Chicago, and just completely ignore it. You just can't completely ignore that, I don't think. I think maybe something they might do is say that he went into hiding, or the Transformers somehow put him into hiding, or the government put him into hiding to protect him. I don't know. I really don't know how they're going to handle that, if they even handle it at all. And it wouldn't surprise me if Michael Bay doesn't. I mean, I know people shit on Michael Bay. I don't really shit on him because, again, he's made movies that I've enjoyed. But let's be fair. If he doesn't tackle the subject, or at least the lore of Sam Whitwicky for the last whatever amount of years have passed from the Chicago incident to this movie, I think that's, my opinion, I think that's a bad move. I just really think it's a bad move. And with that said, you don't really want to really put that movie in, and it's just a bad tone to set, if depending on whether or not they address it and when in the movie. I just think it's a bad tone to set. So, or, you know, for all I know, they could be planning a cameo with him. Maybe the movie starts and he leaves the Autobots and he says, look, you know, I love you guys. It's been fun. We fought the good fight, but I need to go and have a normal human life. I mean, that would have been that's something simple. It doesn't have to be something that they have to engross the movie in. It can be a quick 5-minute closure and then move on. But so that's something that crossed my mind. The other thing that crossed my mind too is, you know, when you look at the first movie, you have Megatron, right? Megatron came out in the end. He was around for maybe the last 45 minutes of the movie, and then he died. Then in the second one, he gets revived, but he's not really the leader. The Fallen is. Then in the third movie, you see that he's damaged and he's healing or whatever, and he looks all fucked up. Excuse my French. But the leader is somewhat Sentinel Prime. So my question is Galvatron just going to be the leader? I mean, can we just get a one leader for the Decepticons, not someone trying to be the Decepticon leader and then someone that's supposed to be the leader but really isn't because he decided to be a bitch and submit himself to the other leader? It's another thing that's concerning me because Galvatron, I mean, I think that's one way they kind of screwed up the Megatron character, is that in the first movie, you left him out of it for most of the movie until the end, and then you kill him. Then you bring him back only to have him be a subordinate. I mean, if that's the case, there was really no point in bringing him back in the second movie, and that's what made it so freaking lame. You have an enemy that nobody gives a shit about in the Fallen, and then you have an enemy in Megatron that everyone loves, and you make him a pawn. And they did that in the last two movies, and that's kind of one thing that I have to admit I'm very upset about with the Transformers series, is how they've handled Megatron. So now that Megatron is completely out of the picture, now you have Galvatron. This is an opportunity, I feel, for them to kind of redeem that. So the only question I have with Galvatron is that Galvatron is not really historically a rival of Optimus Prime. He's a rival of Rodimus Prime, or at least as far as I remember. I didn't watch every generation of Transformers. I'm more of a G1 and sometime after, and then I kind of just left it from there. But so now the question is, you have Galvatron. Obviously, I guess they're going to make Optimus his rival. So now where did Galvatron come from? How did he come to be? He was never referenced in any of the other movies. We know how he came to be in G1, but that's besides the point. That doesn't count here because we know that they've completely redone it. So now my question is, how do you tell the story of this new antagonist and put him to be Optimus's rival? Like, what's his, you know, I'm just kind of curious. I mean, are we just going to go back to the whole we're here to take over the world and build Energon, or is there a revenge story here? So just a lot of questions that, and you know, again, it's going to probably be a simple plot, but I think even with a simple plot, there's still certain points that you can hit, certain bullet points you can hit that can make it a better movie. And I think Galvatron is a key there. I think Galvatron is a key because he's a very popular villain, and they need to do that right. And I think at least giving some closure to the Sam Whitwicky story in terms of, you know, where is he now type deal, I think those two things would be good points to make in this movie. But let's see if they do it. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.